Turitūhawk a long time ago, there was a sacred promise made to the salmon people, and that is that we would take care of them as long as they took care of us. And they have never broke their promise.
Our duty as Indigenous people is to speak for the salmon on their behalf. Whatever happens to the salmon happens to us.
We're intimately connected with salmon in the rivers. When the rivers are not well, they're not healthy, our families are not well and healthy, then we suffer. And that's what we're doing right now. Our communities are really suffering.
Building these 4 dams was a huge mistake. And I think as more and more generations go by, more people are realizing, that we went too far. And you hear people talk about that a lot, that these 4 dams are really the dams that broke the salmon's back, if you will.
I came here today to participate in this Free the Snake flotilla, to work with other people, other tribes up and down the river, other environmental groups, to get the word out about what's happening to the salmon in this river.
We did good work today. We went out on the Snake River to acknowledge our ancestors, to acknowledge the Shjénach, the hard-working people, the salmon people.
The more people realize the role that salmon play in the Pacific Northwest, the impact they have on communities, tribal communities, non-tribal communities, on our culture, ecosystems, economy, the more they're going to recognize that the time for these dams is over.
When we look at the health of our salmon today and how they're not firm anymore, and they have to live in that dirty, filthy water that isn't being washed out because of the dams, it hurts me when I see the health of our fish. And I'll tell you, if we don't protect anything that was already here, and if we let it go, we're eventually going to doom our own selves, because it will happen to us too. We are no different.
We're taking probably the greatest migratory river in the lower 48 and allowing salmon, giving them a 50% better chance of making it up these streams by removing the 4 lower Snake River dams into a huge, vast wilderness that connects the Rockies to the Pacific. It's critical.
This really could be a win-win. I mean, just this area alone, the economy could turn around in a major way. I mean, people aren't even barging anymore, which is what these dams were built for, the run-of-the-river dams. And all of a sudden now you could get these white sandy beaches back, the fish come back, and all of a sudden tourism's up, and, life turns around for all of us.
Let's breach these dams and bring back a free-flowing river, bring back all of the native wildlife and the fish species. And that's really, truly coexistence, because dams and fish don't coexist. But a free-flowing river and salmon and people can coexist. But we need those 4 dams down the river to be breached. And then we'll see real harmony return to this valley and to the Pequot.
We have a treaty or a contract or agreement with the federal government to take and harvest salmon. We tribal members, enrolled nesters or Nimiipuu, have those treaty rights guaranteed by these agreements with the federal government, or the treaties that our ancestors signed many years ago to protect our rights, like mine today. And they had a lot of forethought to sign that document.
These dams are costing taxpayers a ton of money, they're aging, and the benefits they're giving us are declining. And the ultimate fact is that the loss of our salmon that's caused by these dams is also an obstruction of the treaties that we have with the tribes here. And if we're going to honor those treaties, and if we're going to honor this landscape, we need to remove those dams.
What we're trying to do here is to make sure that we protect those treaty rights for future generations, because we may not be here 50 years from now, 100 years from now, but just like those treaty signers, we want to make sure that we support and push and continue what they started with the signing of the original 1855 treaty.
Chief Joseph said the same thing over and over. The earth and myself are of one mind. There is no difference.
The salmon people are out there, and they've been butting their heads against these dams trying to come home.
It's time to restore this river. And if we're not going to do that, we're going to lose these fish. And honestly, I think if people face that, the Northwest is going to come down in favor of protecting and restoring these historic, emblematic, iconic fish populations of the Pacific Northwest.
Free the snake, open up opportunities. It's going to help our communities all along the snake. We're all going to benefit in the long run.
The Snake River is going to be free. It's going to be free. We're going to bring down these dams.
To actually get so close like we are is just exciting because we're not going away. We're just going to keep pushing.
Standing up for those salmon, standing up for the people above those dams, the indigenous people who have to import salmon now. That's their culture. They are salmon people. How can we allow that to happen? We need to know that we have power. We have power when we come together.
We can help one another to keep the promises of the first people of this land to the salmon nations. Let's bring down those dams.
So here we are, we're on the snake, and we're doing this good work. And so we look at our ancestors and we say, are we doing good work, Grandma and Grandpa? Because we have all of those people that we carry along with us. And those are the people that in the past that are attached. They are physically attached by our very presence.
We're all making history here. You're making history by your presence here. All these children are making history. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to make history. We're going to remove these dams.